Hey everyone, it's Dylan and Brad from the Black Forest Wood Company. Why don't you tell them where we are?
We're at GL Veneer in Los Angeles, California.
And we're going to be delivering their conference table, which has been a long time coming, and you guys are going to get to watch us build this entire piece in this video. We were commissioned by GL Veneer to create a new conference table for their business. They sent us a slab of willow burl that they had specifically saved for this application. And GL Veneer happens to be one of our favorite wood suppliers, and it's not just ours, but many woodworkers buy their material from GL Veneer. So for them to select us as the makers for this conference table was an absolute honor, and we have to blow them away with the finished product. The first step of the process is to begin rough cutting the slabs down to their size so that they fit in the mold. GL Veneer has opted for a cast on this table, which means that instead of ripping this slab in the middle and flipping the edges in to create the usual river table, we're going to be leaving this slab mostly intact and just rip off some of those wide sections on the outside where we can then add resin to square off the entire table. One thing about willow is that the edges are very burly and very organically shaped, so the cleaning up process is quite time consuming. As you can see, we have to go in there with a chisel, with wire wheels, and whatever tools it takes to completely clean the live edge of this piece of wood. Now, while the bark may look pretty, this is a critical part of the process to ensure that you get a permanent, long-lasting bond. If you weren't to completely clean the edge of the wood, your resin is simply going to bond to the bark, and then the only thing holding your entire table together is the bond between the bark and the piece of wood itself, which is almost inevitably going to separate over time. Once we've got the cleaning process completed, it's upstairs into our pour room so we can get this slab lifted into the mold.
All right, I'll take my fingers out. Everyone else fingers out?
Yeah.
There we go. Call it small. Look at that.
We do have a very specific setup in our pour room to ensure that we can pour these large volumes successfully. The table that you're seeing us place this onto is a liquid-cooled table. The bottom sheet is a piece of aluminum, which we have then put over sheets of HDPE so we can have something that the resin doesn't stick to. Beneath that sheet of aluminum, we have copper tubing, a chiller, and a reservoir of water that cycles through chilled water at about 5 degrees Celsius so that we can control the exothermic reaction of the resin pour. For a color on this table, GL Veneer has selected a green to match the color of their company logo. Fortunately, we had a pigment within our Black Forest pigment line called Green Velvet that was almost an exact match to what they were looking for. Because of all the extra character that was visible in the edges of this slab of willow, they opted for a base layer. As opposed to pouring this green color all the way through in a solid pour, which would hide all that beauty in the natural edge, we're simply pouring it 1/2 inch thick, and we're going to allow that to partially cure, and then we will follow that up with a layer of clear. So not only is GL Veneer going to be able to get their desired color that they want, but they're going to maintain all of that natural beauty in the edge of the piece of wood. As a resin choice, we're using our Black Forest Deep resin for this application. It's a product that we've had specifically formulated for large volumes of resin without issues of cracking, overheating, or bubbles. Another thing you might notice that we do different than other YouTubers is we're not sealing the edge on our piece of wood. That's because we're using this high quality resin and we have a cooled environment to really slow down the cure of this resin. Not only does it save a step in the amount of labor that we have to commit to this table, but it ultimately is going to give you a stronger bond because the resin can penetrate deep into the edge of the wood, whereas if you seal it, you essentially just have a plastic on plastic bond, which is much weaker than doing it the way we've shown here. And then after curing for 7 days in the form, we can get this piece popped out of the mold.
I took Moose to the mountains though. It sucked. I wasn't happy.
Yeah, no.
All right, we'll come down once we're done.
Once Jack has got the piece demolded, then it's onto our CNC machine to remove that excess layer of resin from the surface. The reason we leave this excess layer is so that we can fill in all the cracks and voids in a single shot, and it just reduces some of the fills that we have to do afterwards. From there, we can get our track saw and get this piece cut down to its final size. One good tip when final sizing with a track saw is to perform your cut in multiple passes so that you don't get any burning or pinching on the blade and then have to end up cutting your piece smaller.
Okay, so today we're working on a table for GL Veneer. We had them send our lead designer their logo so we can convert it into an SVG file because we're gonna take this project as a nice demonstration for the Shaper Origin. We've used it in the past but haven't touched it in a while. And it's very cool. It's pretty much a handheld CNC, very accurate machine. You kind of see as soon as we bring it up, it scans your whole work surface, and we use this tape to kind of create a grid that it reads off of. And we can lay out the logo of the table anywhere. We can scale it to size, adjust the depth we're cutting at, and change the bits. It's a very, very cool machine. Yeah, we're gonna start working on that. I'm teaching Randy how to use it today.
Now, something is about to go wrong here with this logo, and we don't know it yet. We had a bit of a misunderstanding with GL Veneer. We thought that they wanted green resin for the outside ring and then white resin for the lettering on the inside, but it turns out they actually want green resin for the entire pour. So you right now are watching us make a big mistake where we are pouring the wrong color of resin into that finely cut logo that we just cut out using our shaper. So after sending GL Veneer a photo of the logo, they kindly made us aware of our mistakes. So it's time to lay down some more shaper tape, get in another program, and we're going to completely cut out the white logo and then pour the green resin back in. So fortunately, although we did make a mistake, this one was a pretty easy fix as the shaper did a really good job of being able to cut that logo right where we needed it to be. And this same shape was already saved in the program, so there was no reprogramming or anything that had to be done. So now that we've hopefully got the color right, it's back onto the CNC machine to again remove some more excess resin that was left from the resin pour for the logo. Now, because this is willow burl, we have to take an extra step here to make this surface nice and hard and usable for GL Veneer. Willow as a species is definitely on the softer side, and if we weren't doing anything to make that surface harder, GL Veneer would probably have issues with dents and damage on that surface. So we use our Black Forest wicking CA glue, we completely saturate the surface, and that really helps to harden everything up. Once we've had that CA glue cured, it's through our thickness sander to remove that excess layer of the CA glue. Now, I know I've mentioned this multiple times before about the new machine we have coming from SCM to replace this thickness sander. Well, as of this coming Monday, so 3 days from now, if you're watching it when this video drops, the sander is going to be landing in Vancouver, and then all it has to do is get put on a truck and brought to us here in Alberta. Once the surface has been stabilized, it's back for one more round of fills just to catch any of those really small pinholes that may have been missed. So for this, we're using our Black Forest Coat Thin resin because it's going to penetrate more deeply into the surface than, let's say, our thick resin will. And it only takes 24 hours for this to cure. And then it's on to the final stage of sanding. So we're going to be bringing this surface up to 320 grit for preparation of an oil finish. The higher you sand, the more that you close off the pores of the wood, and you run the risk of your oil finish not penetrating, but the higher you sand, the prettier things look. So 320 grit is kind of that happy medium that we've found where it sands it high enough so you can get a nice clean look over the resin, but you don't obscure the penetration into the wood surface. And then we have to add our pockets into this table, which will attach the legs to the underside of this. And we're also adding some holes right through the surface because GL Veneer wants power integration into their table. And then once the table's off the machine, we can use a hand chisel just to square off those corners for the leg pockets. And then we can take the piece upstairs into our finishing area to begin applying the Black Forest furniture oil finish. Because this species is so porous and soft, like I've already mentioned, we've done something a little bit different with our furniture oil. We've added a solvent to it to thin it out for this first coat so that we can get better penetration into those pores of the wood. This isn't really a necessary step, it's something we're just doing for peace of mind, but it is also something that you guys can do at home if you have our furniture oil and you want to thin it out to get that better penetration. And as you can see in some of these shots, even though we're literally pouring the oil on the surface, already soaking soaking it up and going dry in some sections, so this really goes to show how much this wood is taking on the oil finish. Now we're also getting a really good look of the advantage of doing the base layer I mentioned earlier. We've got beautiful clarity in our resin surface, and we're exposing all that nice burled edge of this slab of willow. Once we've allowed the oil finish to cure for 7 days, it's time to apply 2 coats of our Black Forest sprayable graphene finish. So this is one product in our ceramic lineup. We have gold, platinum, and diamond as well, but this is the only sprayable version that we offer. It's just something that we offer to people to help simplify the application and also speed things up if you're doing this on larger pieces. This is going to not only make the piece look prettier, it's going to make it hydrophobic, but it's also going to increase your scratch resistance on the entire surface. As a final step to tie things off, we add a solid pewter badge into the underside of the table, and then we're going to drill out for the threaded inserts that are going to attach the base to the underside of the table right now, and then we can begin thinking about getting this piece wrapped up to prepare for our delivery. But before we give you guys the full reveal of this tabletop sitting on its base, you're going to have to follow along with us down to Los Angeles to watch us complete this delivery to GL Veneer.
K-Earth 101, Los Angeles.
As good as I can make it look.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's clean.
Yeah, we joke like, you know, I have a big idea. I have a brand new idea coming in. It's like, put a surfboard on the wall.
Yeah. Sure we will.
I think we've had this for a few months, right? Three months?
Oh, we keep trying to get down here.
Yes. Yeah, it's been too long. Too long. I had to pretend we didn't have it. Put it in a dark area of the warehouse.
I'm not just a pretty face.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's our base.
Oh my gosh. Well packaged, guys. Nice job.
We've done a
It's
couple.
almost like, it's almost like you've done this before.
Work in the office.
Okay, cool. We're popping the top on the conference room. Oh my god. That's not the base we ordered. Oh!
Get back.
Awesome, get this shot.
Okay, same thing down here.
I've said a lot of stupid stuff this morning. Like, I'm just trusting Haley a lot. We've built a lot of trust over the years, right?
Yeah, I would never do you dirty.
Yeah.
She catches me saying stupid stuff, and it always makes it on the video.
Microfiber for cleaning. There's some ceramic if it gets any scratches. Put some of that on. So there's base coat and top coat. A little bit.
But I don't know if you'll have that fourth guy pretending to lift. Oh yeah, this is my grade.
Well, I'm gonna get on.
Yep, you're good. Let you guys do that.
Austin's not just a pretty face either. Look at that.
Right here. This, we got the boys from GL Veneer delivering their own table. Making Daniel and Austin do the work here.
Just won't be able to walk for a week.
Did you guys see the room before? Have you been in this room?
We like
Vaguely.
peeked into it,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
like.
Didn't look this pretty. I think there was a white sheet on top of
Yes.
Set it
Set it
down
on
on
the
edge
foam.
here, readjust our grip, and then we'll.
Yeah. We'll peel
set it down.
the foam off the bottom first so that we can line it up with this.
Okay.
But we still want this kind of uncovering. We'll leave the top covered till after we set it on.
Yeah.
So that you can do the grand uncovering.
We got comments, just, you know, people, but they're like, oh, you guys messed up. You didn't make the circle around the logo a perfect circle. It's like, well, it's supposed to be a log. It's
Yeah,
not supposed to be a
yeah.
perfect circle.
Actually, it was a
Trees aren't
CAD
like
drawing we made it from, so pretty sure it was correct.
Force them under.
Yeah, there we go. Just pull it out. Okay, so now we're people here. Okay, good. All right. And then we have to go up to this line. Up this way. Yeah. Okay. It gets heavy here. All right. I'm good. Okay. Okay. Just step over the foam.
Yeah, watch the foam on the ground here. You just need these pockets exposed.
Yeah, we don't want. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, lift it up.
Lift up.
Okay. Easy.
Okay.
Down.
This way towards
Oh.
the inside.
Okay, I'm down.
The whole
Which way?
table needs to rotate like this
I'm
slightly.
in.
Oh,
Oh, no.
We're in.
Okay, we're in. All right.
We're in.
That's it.
Timing.
Look at who's here.
You can. No, you
can talk to
literally.
the
Guys,
unveiling.
we're almost ready for lunch.
Yeah.
That's when Jeff shows up.
Perfect
Turn the
timing.
light on. Yeah.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Don't even turn your computer on.
Hey.
Go straight to lunch.
Oh my gosh, look how you can see into the resin.
Okay, take that off.
Oh my.
Woo.
Stunner, guys. Absolute stunner.
Okay.
Okay. This is so much better than our piece of plywood with a tablecloth on it. I can't
So
believe it.
that's the base layer.
Yes.
We have to make sure that this is still soft, so it deforms when we pour the
Oh,
other
yeah.
resin on top.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you not only get the texture of the epoxy, but it's like curly resin, right?
Yeah,
You can see the ripples
It's
in
the
it.
quilted resin effect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like water.
It looks like it goes with this one.
Ah,
Dude, you guys. Incredible.
look at that, eh?
Incredible. Look at these little islands.
Yeah, it's islands
So
in the
cool.
storm.
Incredible.
Well, thoughts, you guys? All right.
Speechless.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, it's incredible, guys. I love, like, my favorite thing is the seeing down.
Into
Yeah.
the resin.
Oh,
Yeah. And then having that base layer. Look at how it flows. It's figured.
Yeah.
Figured epoxy.
And that's tough to catch. Because if that occurs somewhere in the middle of the night, all you can do is then just sand the flat surface and pour your second coat.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
completely lose that
Yeah, but
effect.
this here, if you look, there's all deformation in the resin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We didn't know if we should put the GL logo on the bottom and our logo on the top.
We struggled with that.
Yeah, we weren't sure. Yeah.
Dude, it's so cool. Amazing job, guys.
Well, and hopefully
Amazing
too,
job.
like you can show customers this and say, like,
Oh, yeah.
here's an example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy the slab, ship it here.
Now, what would you have done in the old days if you didn't have this technique?
Right.
I know. You couldn't sell that piece of wood.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
garbage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
That's where he
it's,
keeps-
it's pen blanks.
Yeah. And all these sawmills that you needed, nice,
Oh,
even
yeah.
live edge, table slabs, 20 feet long, no holes, no crack. No, it's got a crack in it. No,
It's
that's
like
no
murky
good.
swamp water or something.
Yeah, it's an entirely different shade of green.
And that's where like we get asked the question so much too, like, oh, aren't you guys scared this is a fad and it's gonna go away? I think it's changed the industry too much. Because then the sawmills would all go back to having all this waste
Yeah.
and
All
Well,
this perfect
and-
wood.
and-
How long ago was this piece of wood sawn? Or fell? Let's say even showed up in your yard.
That was
6,
from
8
that
years
was
ago?
from Wyman.
Al.
Was it?
It was a big, like, it was with the. It was probably, I think we just got a bigger one, but it was like, it was the biggest for a long time that we had sawn. It was a lot of
This is
time.
one of the nicest walnuts I've seen.
Got me for a second.
Yeah. Now, let me be the bearer of bad news. You have to use coasters. You can't set hot coffee cups on here.
But honestly, it's an honor for us to be chosen by you guys to build this. There's a lot of people that you could have picked to build your conference table.
Yeah. There was only one.
It's pretty special.
There was only one.
Yeah, our pleasure. Yeah, our absolute pleasure.
It was a list of one.
Yeah.
Do I look like a guy that likes oysters?
Every trip, this is our 4th time down.
Oh,
every
man.
trip, Brad, we make eat adventurous foods, and he soldiers through it.
Yeah.
Last night he was like,
Like chew.
Yeah, a little bit of a chew and then swallow.
You kind of get the flavor and then you swallow. Like,
Yeah,
you chew.
yeah, it should. Yeah,
That's good.
right there.
Rather they're not in the strip.
It's the same as the oyster shooter.
Absolutely nothing. The clam chowder is delicious.
It'll grow on you.
Yeah, it will. Oh, I'm sure it will.
absolutely insane.
Finally yours. It's finally you.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to make it?
Like it was probably in our shop for about 2 months, but a lot of that's also because we've got 10 tables that we're working on at the same time. But there's like hours, probably pushing over 100 hours close to it with this when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Wow. The double epoxy pour, the edge treatment, the finishing, the sanding.
The base?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys like it?
Well, as well as the boards, it just brings this element of this organic feel into this room.
Oh yeah.
Which I know you've gone for your new kind of clean, clear, modern look in here, but adding this, even in modern architecture nowadays, you get all these white houses, everything's white, and then you put one live edge piece of furniture in it, and it just changes
That's
the
what
whole
it's supposed
experience.
to be. The focal point.
Changes the whole experience. Yeah.
Talking about with the redwood pieces, we put seal on it and it just goes dark like that bubinga.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep it
Keep it alive and vibrant. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and that's one reason too. Like I like this oil finish combination because it keeps it just looking very natural. Like even I don't mind that you can see the texture of the grain in the reflection.
No, that's
I
great.
think,
That's great.
shows that it's real wood.
Yes. No, you fill it up and then you grind it down
Mhm.
with the CNC.
Mhm.
Yeah, this angle is just the way the light hits it. It's incredible.
We're gonna have to send them one of our lights.
Oh yeah.
We do lighting as well. We do this same technique with we build basically this big cube, and then with our partner we work with for lighting, they have a product called their Soleil. So it's 95% similar to real sunlight, and it just looks a million times better than how these fluorescents would look. And I'd probably suggest
what would we do?
you'd have take those out. We'd have 2 wire hangers, and we'd maybe make like a 6-foot long piece, and it would be centered right over the table, and it would just make this glow.
Really?
It would look even better.
Take a note.
How do we?
But no, it's a new product for us that we want to develop more. So we would love to be able to show one off in here.
Can we send in a quote request?
Yeah, fill out the form. I'll send you the form, Daniel.
And we can do up to 8 feet on those too.
Yes, we can.
So we'll just build an 8-footer.
Okay, yeah, we'll do 8 foot.
Yeah.
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 And does
They're
this
really
convert
nice.
to a pool table?
Yeah. Just flip it over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other side. Okay, you guys.
Well, it's been a while coming. We have finally done this conference table for our friends at GL.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I'm speechless. It's just amazing.
Yeah, the anticipation was killing me. I feel like I just ran a marathon. Like exhausted. I'm so happy. Yeah, so thankful these guys are willing to hook us up as well. And
Our pleasure. Hey,
Showcase-
Dylan. We're honored.
showcase what they
We're
can do.
honored to have our table here. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying to these guys, is there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that they could have picked to build this table, and for them to trust us, it truly is an honor. So
Yeah.
thank you guys,
No,
honestly.
So well done and it's just perfect.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we are done. Finally. And I'm not just saying this because we like these guys so much. This is honestly one of the most beautiful pieces that has come out of our shop. All of the guys were obsessed with this piece, and let's just give you guys a recap on everything that went into this build. So to start it off,
the most important part, the wood species. We picked a cottonwood burl. Well, GL Veneer picked a cottonwood burl. They sent this to our shop years ago, and we've just been sitting on it, waiting for the time to start this build. We paired it with a custom steel base underneath it. This was inspired by GL's designs. They sent us a few pieces for inspiration, and this is what we came up with. It's also completely hollow to allow for power to come up from the floor. So I think they're either going to put a conduit in, or there's going to be a wire that runs along the floor, and then it's going to come up through the legs, out of these holes, into some power boxes. We haven't installed them yet just because they still have to do some wiring here, but that's what it looks like. Just a simple pop-up box, nothing too fancy. For the resin, we've done a base layer with the GL Veneer green. Something really cool that we were able to pull off is the timing of that base layer. So we poured it, let it partially cure so that it was still soft. Then we pour our second layer over top, and it allows that base layer to deform and get kind of like a figured or textured look to it. So here's a close-up on that detail with the base layer. So again, you've got that rippled epoxy. We were calling it curly epoxy. And then from underneath, we didn't even realize this till we were setting it up, but there's a whole different experience when you're underneath your table. So I don't know how much time Daniel and Jeff are going to spend in this position while they're enjoying the piece, but I would recommend it to them. It's kind of nice to just sit in here and look at this. Then to protect this piece, we've used the Black Forest furniture oil. I believe there's 2 coats of that on here, and then we've done 2 more coats of our sprayable graphene ceramic coating, and all of that came together to create this absolutely incredible conference table. I'm so happy that these guys are going to get to enjoy this, and I can't wait to come back down here and see it again, because it's going to be sad. I'm going to miss this piece. But if you guys enjoyed this video, if you feel like we deserved it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Or don't. Honestly, I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. If you just enjoyed watching the video, that's great, and we'll see you next week.
Seeing this part, this is awesome, you guys. This little detail. Like that it has a floor to it.
Yeah.
There's like a sea floor to it.
Yeah.
So cool.
The color too. Nano.